being an old ex-minister, when you start to dabble in people's lives and ask them to forgive the people that have sinned against them, it's a real intrusion into that person's values, because we tend to forgive the people that are close to us, say children, sisters, parents, or in some cases not those ones at all. We tend to forgive strangers rather than family members. And some terrible things are being done to people by family members that you would never think would be predators, but they are. Terrible things are being done. And for children that have been violated by family members, and there's many more than we'll ever really know, the course of their life is changed. The direction of their life is changed. And they never end up on the path that God intended. That's why predators and intruders who violate people's lives are regarded and punished, as usually punished if they're caught and brought to justice, as criminals, because it's criminal. If you're changing the course of somebody's life in a direction that it wasn't purposed to go by way of your impact on that person's life, your negative impact, your bad behavior towards that person, your evil criminal behavior, then you've changed the direction of that person's life, and you're accountable and responsible. Now, teachers, look at the universities today, in a lot of cases where the teachers aren't teaching properly what they're there to teach, but they will pass on their agendas, like the alphabet people agendas, the Palestinian agendas, these other agendas that are violations on the people that are going there. They'll share these influences, radical, fanatical influences, and they can get away with it because they're teachers and professors within universities and other places of education. And they change the course, they influence and change the course of people's lives. That's criminal. There are people that have ended up in protests that would not have been in those protests if it wasn't for their fanatical radical associates that crossed their path. They changed the course of that person's life. Now, if you come to a relationship, and this is where we're all a little bit ignorant, when you meet somebody and you allow them into your life intimately, you're changing the course of your life. You're allowing this new relationship to be part of a new course in your life. And the responsibility and accountability of this is on you. How this plays out is completely and utterly and totally your responsibility, and you will be accountable. It's no good you blaming everybody else for how the new relationship plays out. It's on you. And usually, I'm not going to say always, but most of the time, we end up down a path within these relationships that we should never have been on. Our thinking changes, our habits change, the way in which we perceive things change. We just might want to perceive things in a way in which we are in agreement with the person that we're with. This could be drug related or alcohol related. It could be the way we perceive politics. It could be the way we perceive family. Religions can turn family members against each other. That's just an example. Friends can turn family members against you. There's a lot of evil in this world. Which brings us back to forgiveness. When the Apostle Peter asked the Lord Jesus Christ, how many times should I forgive? And Jesus said 70 times 7, which is, you should really, to keep it simply defined, you should forgive all the time. So then we say to ourselves, if I've had my leg blown off treading on a mine, this is just an example, I don't want to forgive the person that's done that. Okay, that's an extreme example. Or if my brother has driven my car and smashed it and now is not being responsible or accountable for it, I don't want to forgive him. I want him to pay. And the sad part about all this is people have a way of not having to pay. That's how evil works. It changes the course of your life. You think of the impacts of relationships. I was using those as examples, but this is about relationships now, where things have been done to you and you want this person to pay. But I can promise you 99% of the time the only person that's going to pay is yourself, by wanting that person to pay and be accountable and responsible when you know very well that they're not, because a lot of the time when relationships go wrong, nobody else knows the depth of it and the pain of it except yourself. People will listen and sympathize with you and show compassion, but nobody knows the true depth of it except yourself. And sometimes we haven't got the authority or the place or the circumstances to make somebody pay. So what do? We just stay with vengeance and hatred in our heart, and all the bitternesses and sicknesses and things that come with that? Do we just navigate life with those things happening to us? Or is there a better way? Well, this is what Jesus was saying to some extent. Don't allow things that have been unjust, cruel, evil, and unfair that you're possibly unable to forgive. To make you sick and ill and hateful. When you forgive, all you're doing is saying, okay, I can't change what has happened, what has been done, but I can heal myself from the pain by accepting what has happened, evil and all, and translating it as that within my mind, heart, soul and spirit, and accepting that you've fallen prey to evil, putting boundaries up around the evil. It's, say for instance, if you'll see this at beaches, people being attacked by sharks. Okay, they forgive the shark, but they put up protective netting so it can't happen again, because it will happen again. Evil people will do evil again. They will. And sharks will attack again. Wrong place, wrong time, boom. So you put up your protective net so it doesn't happen again. You have identified all things as evil, and you move on.